Alright, so this is the second time I'm making this video. First time, well, sort of making it, because the first time I didn't hit record. So, welcome for the second time-ish. This time we're going to be improving our camera system. Now, I already built it once, so I've actually done one. I'm a couple steps ahead of you right now. You're going to want to go to Window, Package Manager. You're going to go to All. You're going to go down to where it says Cinemachine. And you're going to hit install. It's not going to say remove, it's going to say install on it. Alright, once you get done with that, please come back. But until then, pause this video because I'm already ahead of that. Alright, once you're done with that, you're going to want to go to Cinemachine. You're going to go create 2D camera. It's going to, actually I've erased it, so it's going to create this thing right here. It has a virtual camera inside of this. This is going to be closed like this. This is probably going to look like that. And it's going to automatically already be attached to your camera over here. This thing is basically the brain now. It will control that camera for you. It'll do a lot of cool stuff. The big thing that it does is, well, for one thing, you're going to want to go to the main camera and remove the camera controller that we had on there before. Go ahead and do that now. Just hit the remove component on there. And once you have that done, we can actually take our player now and just drag them right into this the CMV camera 1. Go to where the follow is, and we have basically a more advanced version of what we took so long to create before. Actually, I guess it wasn't that long. Cool part about this is that when we're running it, it has this nice little screen on here that actually shows us everything that we can do on it when we have the camera selected. So it's all built in. We can mess with it, do different things, test things out. It's a lot better than the system that we have built in, right? Thing is, we could build a lot of what this camera can do ourselves, but we would have a really hard time building this system to run it while we're inside the game. So this part in the middle that's not blue, maybe I should turn off the background real quick so you can see better. So this part that's in the middle where it's very blue, it's the dead zone. You can drag it around, and that'll be where your camera's kind of focused in on. So if I go like this, for instance, you'll see it focus in on there. If I go like this, it'll focus in over there. You want to set it up so that it's set up for where the player is at and about how you want it. I personally like mine so the player's a little bit higher than the middle, but more or less center in terms of left of the horizontal, right? And you can see the numbers that it's manipulating over here, right? Screen X, screen Y, that kind of stuff. So if you just hit 0 on here for that, 0, boom, or that's what it should do. Or wait a minute, sorry, 0.5, my fault. 0.5 is dead center for this, while 0.61 is a little bit above, right? It's a little bit above. So I almost want this to be more like 0.7, and that'll be pretty solid in terms of being above the player and everything like that, right? But the board's so small in the background when I turn this background back on that as you can see, there's just not much sky left over there, so it's not going to work out anyway. But if it gets lowered up, it'll be alright. So for now, it's pretty good. As you can see, when the camera's actually pulled back further, you almost need more speed to deal with it, right? Because right now I feel the character feels slow and clunky. The controls just don't feel all that great and all that kind of stuff. So if I exit out of there, you'll see that the camera actually didn't save any of my changes. So we're going to keep the 0.5 right there, and we're going to make this 0.7 right here. There's some other cool functions inside of this. As you can see, when you leave the dead zone, this yellow dot's actually what the camera's following. So when you leave the dead zone, it'll actually follow that dot based on this dampening. So if I have that at 0, as soon as that thing hits the dead zone, it moves it. The higher that number, the more it'll let it leave the dead zone, right? Makes it a little bit smoother. So it'll catch up, but it's dampening it. So it's oh, we're kind of following behind and catching up to you. It's a cool little effect, that damping. Same thing with the Y damping and so forth. Kind of makes it feel so your character's moving a little bit more strongly, right? So next thing we're going to want to do is try to hit this orthographic size it about right. This is about where we were at before. Character feels a lot faster when you're looking in on him, right? So we're going to do a couple things here. One thing is we can mess with the dead zone size, right? So that you can move a little bit further before things start to happen. I kind of like it for the jump just because, well, I just like it. So we're going to leave that ahead, and we're also going to see, like, the further wide that you make this part right here, this dead zone, as you can see it's going up right there, 0.35-ish about now, the less you can actually, like, see when you're moving around, right? Especially if your damping's high, because you can go further out that dead zone. So you're going to want to use something called look ahead. If we do like 0.5 look ahead, right? You see the dot actually goes ahead of you. So now you can actually see over there. We can even get it to the point where, like, the direction that you're going in, whoa, you can see, like, really far, right? That's what 0.1 does. Let's do like 0.7. That was really far. Oh, that Y is insane. So as you can see, whoosh, it just moves right over there. 0.7 is pretty far, so let's try to go back to 0.5. That seems about right. Especially because the jump is kind of extreme, right? Maybe even like a little bit less because of the extremeness of the jump. And maybe we won't make such a big dead zone. So we'll go something more along the lines of that. And that'll kind of compensate for everything. Yeah, that's still really big. So we're almost going to want only like a 0.2, I feel, for this. Yeah, it looks about right. Alright, so you're going to have to remember the numbers because it's just how it is. We're going to do about 0.2 on there. We're going to test it out one more time, see what it's doing for the game. We really don't even really need that much of a look ahead or anything like that. Oh, we don't need it at all if the camera's that far away. We're not going to need too much of a look ahead because we're just not messing with the functions, the dead zone and stuff enough to make it happen. But as you see, it makes the camera, we've made it so the game's a lot smoother, right? We're going to make it a little bit bigger with dead zone just so, like, if you're going back and forth, it's not as bad. So like 0.15 at least, half again larger than it just was. So now you get this feel. Like, you can't just, like before we would jerk if we did this, right? But the character just runs around now, right? And if you jump around, this thing goes ahead of you, shows you what's going on. You can't even see that tree branch now because of the level design, but that's a level design problem, not a camera problem. And looking pretty good, right? Now we're still having that problem where we're seeing all that dark blue background. We're going beyond what the actual level actually has inside of it. In order to fix that, we're going to go over here to extensions. We're going to go to Cinemachine Confiner. We're going to look over here, and if you actually, it'll say a bounding shape is required. That's basically just anything with a collider on it. If I drag over something with a collider on it, though, you'll see that it says it needs to be a polygon collider 2D or a composite collider 2D. First, we're going to actually set a background collider on this. We're going to look up poly. We're going to go to polygon collider 2D. You'll see this huge thing right here. You hit this edit collider. Now, anywhere you click, it's going to create a vertex and it's going to let you move it. Now, there's actually vertices on these corners already you can mess with. You can tell that you're actually moving the vertex when both the sides move without creating any more sides. And it'll kind of snap to it. So you see on the corner, it kind of snaps. But you see there, for instance, I accidentally misclicked because it's not that great, right? And I created a whole nother side right there. Now, I don't want this whole other side, so if you hold Control, it'll redden it up. There you go, I deleted it. Line this up as best we can. If you zoom way in, you can get it like really precise, you know, really precise there. That's high precision. So, we're gonna go way back out. And really quick, we're gonna just delete this side because we only need 4. We have a confine box. We're going to want to exit the edit collider first, then we're going to want to hit is trigger so that the entire shape is not colliding with the character. We're going to want to hit play real quick to make sure that it's not colliding with the player real quick. Then we're going to go to this camera. We're going to scroll down. We're going to drag the background down into this bounding shape 2D. It'll make it happen. It should be set up correctly now. What you'll see is that the camera won't ever take its view outside of that space. So we'll never see up into that blue space again. Right? And and that about sums up what we were trying to do with the Cinemachine for now. It's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Even if I fall off the edge of the world, all good, right? So, I think that about sums up making a more professional camera. Please hit the like button if you like the video. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification if you would like to see more tutorials like this. And leave me a comment below. Let me know what you like, what you dislike, yada yada. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. You guys have a great day. Bye.